horse lovers. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that doesn't sound very exciting, but it's actually a fundamental part of how we learn and how our horses learn as well. It's called cognitive dissonance. Before you end this little vlog, this is my first vlog, so bear with me, I might be a little bit nervous. Before you think, why am I going to listen to what that term even means, far too heavy, it's actually not. I'm going to break it down a little bit. So cognitive is brain function. Dissonance is, I'm sorry, I do apologise if there's people out there with psychology backgrounds, who've studied a bit of learning theory for their horses. But just to break it, because I didn't know what this meant until quite, recent years really. So cognitive is brain function. Dissonance means like a dis-ease, like a non-harmony between. So what happens is we have cognitive dissonance when every time we learn something new, every time we develop and grow, which is inevitable. Some of the best people out there are always having cognitive dissonance because they're continually evolving, growing, learning, it's just part of life. So recently I had a bit of cognitive dissonance when I learned something new which challenged my beliefs that I had. It can happen anytime it challenges a core belief, something you believe to be true, and it feels a bit like scrunching inside because this doesn't sit with you, this isn't in line with what you know. You can look a bit like this, like rabbit in headlights. So it can make you feel a bit funny. Imagine a child when they learn about Santa Claus. I hope that was in the room. But they would have, when they learn of Santa, they would have cognitive dissonance. They would experience that shock, slight uncomfortable feeling, bit of disbelief. So recently I had this when I learned that something I thought was true. I thought that when you had coffee, it dehydrated you. And apparently the water content in the coffee offsets that dehydration. So actually it's not. And I thought, I'm not sure about that. So sometimes it takes the brain a while to accept this new information. So that's what cognitive dissonance is. Many of my clients experience it when they learn something new about their horse. I experienced it so many times when I was at uni, when I went back to study the behaviour of equine science and equine ethology. And just one example of this is with stable vices. Most people say, I say that in inverted commas, unwanted, stressful, stereotypic behaviours like cribbing, weaving, box walking, pacing, tongue twisting. There's so many, but they're the main ones. So I thought, like many of us do, that horses do this because they're bored in their stables or they're copying it from their friends. This is not the case, and I had cognitive dissonance when I actually learned that if any of these behaviours are existing, it should be like a red flag to us horse lovers to say that horse is not coping in that situation. It should be like a real clear warning sign that we need to adapt and change something in their environment. So so cognitive dissonance, welcome it, because it means you're growing, you're learning even more, even though it might not feel great at the time while it's challenging our beliefs. There's lots of untruths and myths out there in the horse world, unfortunately. And many of the clients, I say that sometimes like recently I had a client, a lovely lady with a beautiful horse, and I gently indicated that what she was feeding him wasn't helping him. He had very, very stressful, unhappy, stable behaviour, and an aspect of his food was contributing to this. And when I said this information to her, she was like this. Rabbit in headlights. And then after a few minutes, she actually said, do you know, I've always had this feeling, like this gut feeling about this, but it doesn't line up with what other people in the horse industry believe. So I dismissed it. And this is so often the case. Yeah, horse owners generally know their horses best. You know, you spend all your time with them. So follow those instincts, stay open-minded, and welcome in the cognitive dissonance. Thank you for listening.